Welcome to the Mystical Devis Podcast. My name is Raman Rose. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. I have Mara Anders here with me. She is a beautiful, beautiful special guest we have today, and I want to read something I wrote for her as I want to introduce her with the honor she deserves. So, like I said, today I'm honored to welcome a special guest, Mara Anders. She has a heart full of wisdom and a spirit that is both wild, bold, and free. Mara is living proof that the third act of life can be the most vibrant and fulfilling. Now approaching 80, which she looks wonderful. You know, she's always wonderful, but I just want to mention that. She's been walking the path of self-determined aging for nearly 3 decades, helping others challenge the unwritten rules and write their own. Her empathetic nature, deep presence, and radiant example invite us all to reflect, reimagine, and reclaim what's possible, no matter what our age is. So she is the living embodiment of grace, grit, and gorgeous reinvention, inviting you to truly see your heart. Her mission is to help others see that aging is not a decline, but a deep invitation from the universe. An invitation to live boldly, to question the rules, and embrace this stage of life as the best one yet. She calls this the Mara Principle, a mindset that begins in the heart and the head, where aging becomes not something to fear, but something to dance with. So now, please give a very warm welcome to the beautiful, beautiful Mara Anders. Welcome.
Thank you very much. That's a really beautiful description. I'm quite touched by it. Thank you, Raymond. You have understood it very well, even though you looked at my website and my website is all in German.
Right.
How did you manage?
How did I manage? Well, you know, there's this thing called translators, and they're very helpful.
Oh, there is.
Right. Imagine I learned German for you, right? That would be a great step. I know. Hooray. I wish I could just say that, but no, I'm going to give credit to the wonderful translators that I have, Google Translator, so it worked.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny you talk about your website. Maybe we'll start there. Okay. I just have seen how many clients have written on your website and have given testimonials of the work that you do. Can you describe a little bit of what it is that you do and how it's made an impact on people's lives?
In a way, I accompany people on the way I took myself. Because when I was 60, for example, I was very insecure. I did not want to get old. I had lots of negative thoughts about old age. And this is where I start with people, because when we are honest, we all have negative thoughts about old age, because we live in a toxic beauty culture. Especially women, but also men. You only have to think at the six-pack. Yeah. But especially women are determined to a life of constant youthfulness. And that's against life, because life has a bow. We start small, we grow, and then we have to change the perspective. Up to the middle age, we live on a very bodily way, and then we have to change perspective and develop our mental energy. Up to then, we have the bodily energy is very dominant. Mm-hmm. And this shift from bodily energy to mental and spiritual energy in the end is very important to get a full understanding of who you are. Because that's the main question. Who are you? Who am I? And most people can only answer this question by saying, oh, I'm an architect, or I'm, don't know, housewife. Doesn't exist anymore, I think.
Right. Everyone's working now.
The answer to this question is not easy. Is not easy, and that's why I put a great focus on this point.
Yeah. Wow. Beautifully said, Mara. I
Thank
love
you.
how you're saying that, for you, that deep questioning began at 60. And I hear that that's a precious age, when folks turn 60. It's, you're kind of, you're seeing your skin change, your body change. And so you're confronted with like the end of life in some ways, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a very sacred portal and initiation. And I know I have many listeners who are in their middle age and beyond. And what would you like to say to those folks who are in that portal right now?
Well, the middle age is the valley of sorrow. It's the time when, exactly how you described it, when you see, well, I passed half of my life. What do I do with the other half? And normally in our society, we still tend to attach ourselves to youthfulness, do exercises, paint ourselves. Nothing against it, but it's always the question with of the intention you do it with. And when you arrive, at least for the people with whom I work, mostly when the end of the professional life comes nearer, the anxieties grow more. They are stronger. They grow stronger. That is, in a way, it's the third part of our life. There's a first part, that's youth, childhood and youth, then being an adult. And then you're from the adult who is living in the outer world, making a career, raising children, having a family. The children go away. They live their own lives. And this point where the empty nest, it's called, I think. Yeah. Most people go into resignation instead of seeing what a great chance this is for their future life, because it's not unusual that we all get 90 or 100 years old nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. And the time from 30 to 60 is just as long as 60 to 90. And what have we put in the years between 30 and 60? A lot of work, a lot of experiences, living the life, and then nothing for the next 30 years? No, that's not possible. You have to change your focus from the filled life to the fulfilled life. And that's the step I'm accompanying. How do I get a fulfilled life? Because you can't travel 30 years. It's nice to travel. It's nice to make experience in other cultures, but you can't travel 30 years. That would be a way. I say this because most people say, oh, when I don't work anymore, I will go traveling. Very well, but that can't be all.
It can't be all just, escaping to some magical destination.
Yeah.
It's a journey. And what is your journey about? That is so beautiful and very, deliciously put, right? Because I don't think people see it that way. They don't see that, 30 to 60, that's a huge chunk of life, right? And then from 60 to 90, like that's a chunk of life. And we're not talking about, well, how do we develop in those stages, right? Because a lot of people my age, even younger, think their life ends when they've turned, 60. It's retirement, right? So are we retiring our minds? Are we retiring our passions? That's what you're speaking to, right?
Yeah, yeah. Very well expressed. Thank you.
You too, just going off of what you're saying. But would you like to add something to that?
Well, I have some crucial points. The
Yes, please.
first is to discover that getting old in a good way, in a positive way, is a question of energy, not of conservation. That's one point that is for many of my clients, it turns something around in their head when they hear that.
So it's energy and not you're going to explain. So go ahead.
Yeah, energy in the way that we have to, like I said, the mental energy becomes more important, and you have to discover what is the mental energy. And it is, for example, the way we think about ourselves, about others. And one step is to be boss in your own head. Don't let all these thoughts we gathered during our life, most of them in the childhood, the beliefs, don't let them dominate you. And there are ways to change this.
Right. Wow. That is so beautiful. It's interesting you say that because, as we're aging, our body may be biologically breaking down,
Sure.
changing,
Sure.
right?
Changing.
So I like that better. And how we are thinking about our body is really going to matter in how it shapes the next 30 years. So you're saying have really good mental strength and build that muscle because it's going to ripple out in everything you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have one little ritual in the morning. I thank my body every morning. Because it's 80 years old. I was 80 in May. And I really thank every part of my body every morning that it's carrying me on. And this is, for example, a very good step everybody can make. Just thank the own body every morning. And another crucial point is in the way we think. Is my slogan. When I am old, I want to look happy, not young. It's a bit funny, but I'm saying this 18 years old. But
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and when you care for your happiness, then you look younger in any way because people perceive you in another way. And you only have to look around you. Most people who are elderly, mouth is hanging down. Yeah, and it's that when you smile, your brain takes 1 minute to register, good mood today.
Right.
And then even that's important. You can put it, you can do it on the outside and it has a reaction on the inside.
Right. Beautiful. So it's a lot about reconditioning yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also gets me thinking about, we're born into a society which, if you look at Carl Jung, what he says, and a lot of, my background is as a therapist, we look at society sometimes as there is a lot of chaos happening, right? So there are a lot of systems, whether they be societal systems, cultural systems, radical religious, systems that may be conditioning us to think and feel certain ways about our body, whether it be shame, repression, or exploitation. Can you speak to that of how folks can decondition and unpack that?
Well, I described just some steps, but what you also have to understand that in the combination of patriarchy and capitalism, the society needs insecure women, for example, because only insecure people buy things they don't need. And there is a kind of wording magic in words. We know that our ancestors, when they started to speak very long time ago, they used words as a sort of magic. Repetition is a sort of magic. All the advertisements are a sort of magic. They're very, very clever people who know what to use, which wording to use to influence us. But we can use this, affirmations are a kind of magic too. And you can use this when we know this is a kind of magic that is influencing us. We can detect what is behind it, behind the words. We can understand them, understand the meaning behind, and we can govern them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the right word?
Yeah, like if you're saying it's, you're taking back the power and checking the systems and not having them control you, but you're monitoring what's coming in from where. Because I think it's very important, the advertising and what's behind it, like what's the intention behind it. So I think you make a really good point. If we want to age happily, right? Look at the intention behind what someone is saying.
Yeah.
Right? It's so important, especially with beauty ads and the plastic surgeons and the injections and the Botox. Like you said, no judgment, but it's $1 billion industry.
Yeah, and it's a kind of war you lead against your own body.
Yep.
With nerve gas and scalpel. It's a decision, but I don't think it's a good decision, but that's my opinion.
Right. Yeah, because it can cause fragmentation, right? Like there's something wrong with you, inherently wrong with you. And that's okay if that's the path you take. But I think it's also important what you're saying, to understand a lot is going into keeping us asleep to our own magic.
Yeah. One sentence, I think it is used in America as well, is because I'm worth it. It's used in a beauty advertisement. Yeah. And it lose because I am worth. Everybody is worthy anyway. But it's now coupled, now put together with the cream, the meaning of this, I'm worth it. And that's really, you have really to look precisely to understand this, that I don't have anything against good creams, or it's important that we care for our body, for our skin, that we eat very well, mostly, if possible, biological, but that's not always possible, I know. But if it's not possible, it is important to communicate in a way with your nourishment, be thankful for it. And that changes the relation your body takes towards the nourishment.
That nourishment, right.
Yeah. And you have to move, of course. If you sit on the couch every day, all day long, there's nothing gained.
So movement.
But that's only the base, the basics. The real, like we said before, the real changement is in the brain.
The revolution is in the brain.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are very important concepts, I think, to what you're speaking to, of like noticing what's influencing you on the outside and how now those thoughts are being shaped by what you grew up with, what's been, coming in through society, through programming. And now you have those thoughts as a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, and now it's in your body. And so when a woman comes to you, sweet Mara, and she's dissatisfied or feeling not so good in her body, how do those sessions look? So you're using this technique, but one of the main things I've heard your clients say is that you create deep, embodied, nourishing space for people. So it sounds like a lot of safety is important in your session.
Yeah, it's I didn't know that I have this impact on people because before my clients told me. But now I'm very conscious of it, and I use it in the way that I give all my love to my clients in the session so they can feel secure and open up. And I also give them very practical hints, like I said before, thank your body. Write every morning something, write down, make little rituals, because I said before, repetition is a way to implement thoughts like they have been implemented before into us, but we can implement new thoughts into ourselves. And that's the way to do it is repetition, for example, and talking with someone, and I'm the mirror. When they say, for example, even a small sentence like, I'd like to, she's 66, and she said, I'd like to have a partner. And I said, there's nothing wrong with wishing for a partner with 66. You don't have to feel ashamed because she kind of
was fidgeting.
yeah she seemed a little bit ashamed and to mention it, and that's so sad because it is also this is a sentence that men are looking for young women. That's not true. That's not true. My husband, we married 20 years ago. I was 60 and he was 64, and he was very happy to have a woman that is not too young. And he's not the only one. We have friends, and everybody is saying there's only stupid men who want young women.
And you don't want those.
No.
Right, exactly. No, that's so beautifully said that, because it's inspiring as someone who is in her early 30s now, of like envisioning that, of like that I have something to look forward to at 60 just as much as I do here at 30, right? And it's so important, it's so inspirational for you to say that and share that this 66-year-old client is sitting in front of you and ashamed to want a partner, because that's what we do in society.
Of course.
We've created that, where that's in people's bodies, that they don't deserve love at an age, just because they're at a certain age. It's important.
There are people who marry with 90. I mean, the only question is, do I believe so much in myself that this can happen? As long as I think I have to be young, we don't find the right partner.
So it's almost a self-belief, right? So you're helping her unpack the self-belief of who she is and how she can show up in life. And so what does that look like? Do people have, because I know how it feels as a therapist to help someone shift their mindset, right? And we can struggle with so much resistance in that space. And so I'm just curious to hear in your case, because I know what it is for me, but I would love to hear from you. How long does it usually take for people to kind of like the light bulb goes goes on. And then it's like, oh, yes, I've repeated this enough time. Now I have new neural pathways and everything's lit up biochemically in a different way. How long does it typically take for people in different
Well,
ages?
in a way, it's never finished. I've
Ooh,
discovered with myself also
it's
sentences
ongoing.
and thoughts sometimes. But the main point is to be conscious of it, to notice when it happens, and don't judge yourself when it happens. The main work is done within 3 months.
Mm.
I have a program which one step leads to the other. And at the end of the 3 months, people normally are capable of noticing themselves when they. And then I have to say, of course, there are only certain people who reach out for me. Not everybody does it, because not everybody wants to do the work. It's really only people who really want to change something in their life. And I believe, as a psychologist, most are in the situation that there come people who say they want to change,
But they actually
don't really.
absolutely. Yeah, because you have a lot of people who want to change, but there's a discrepancy of actually doing it, right?
Oh, there is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard work, it is hard work sometimes. But what you mentioned is actually in practice is easy, but just moving through the feelings and the emotions can be hard. And I think a lot of the times we're taught to suppress the negative feelings and emotions, tuck it down, don't look at what's happened. But it sounds like what you're doing is having people bring up the feelings, bring up the thoughts, and let's process it. Let's move through it. And now let's create the new neural networks, right? With the new way of being, which could be, I deserve a partner, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think a very good way is to write every morning 3 pages, for example, without judgment. And when you don't remember, when you can't think of anything to write, then write down, I can't think of anything to write. The main thing is to write, because with the hand, that's important, because not only there are lots of muscles when you write with the hand that are activated in your body, it's 12 regions in your brain as well.
Wow.
When you're writing with your hand. And
so it's like boom, 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 lighting it
up. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. I wanted to ask you again, because I want to go back to the patriarchy.
Okay.
It's a big topic these days. And, people feel a certain way about patriarchy, about feminism, about these different words and how it impacts how women view themselves and their bodies. And I think we spoke a little bit about it. But is there something you want to share in that aspect?
Well, it is, in my understanding, men and women are formed by patriarchy. And I'm quite sure that most men aren't very happy about it either. Because also men are narrowed into a certain way, modeled into a certain way of being a man, and there's so much more to it.
Absolutely.
Also with women, I said before, patriarchy and capitalism, and this combination needs insecure women or insecure people. And when we develop our strength without fighting, we are women, we don't chase, we attract. But you have to come to this point that you trust that your presence, when you're arrived at yourself, is enough. And Patriarchy isn't interested in women who are fulfilled or in men who are fulfilled. It's obvious. You only have to look around. And the way some men react when women make the first steps is a sure sign that that is a very powerful way we women can develop, and we can be very powerful. If not, there wouldn't be reactions like that. There is a lot of fear, and to get around this fear, I think that this sentence is important. We don't chase, we attract. Really, I mean, it's perhaps a bit funny if I say it, but if you look, the parts that are the most feminine, the most masculine in ourselves are the egg cell and a sperm. And the egg cell is sitting and deciding which sperm is allowed to enter. It's a bit exaggerated as a picture, but I think it makes it clear. And this doesn't mean that you're passive. That's often a misunderstanding, that if you're in your femininity.
Yeah, you got it. Femininity. It's beautiful. Yeah, the way
femininity. Then I built my business. For example, you work, you can earn your money, everything. You can work in all kinds of branches. But the thing is, who am I here? Do I know who I am? And when I know who I am, I act in a way that is not aggressive.
That's so beautifully put. Thank you.
Yeah, and I remember very well, I was in the women's lib when I was your age, and we were rather aggressive, and in a way it was necessary, because when I was young, the structures were even more firm than today. But it's important to overcome this kind of... we only had male models. We only had male models of behavior. And all the life that I was working, I was a lecturer at an academy. I had a thought, what is feminine professionalism? How can you be professional as a woman without imitating male behavior?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Wow. There's so many pieces of beauty in everything that you said, from how do we decondition ourselves, right? Because you're saying that the powers, or the masculine, the patriarchies, that's what I was trying to say. The patriarchy was more firm and aggressive in the past. And now there's freedom on the physical scale, but it could be maybe more traps in the mental realm, right? And that's the work that you're doing, that now it's a little bit more free and we have the freedom, but now the enslavement is happening internally.
Well, they happened before too, but now we discover them.
Right. Important distinction. Yeah, because before it was also on the outside and the inside, and now we're looking out for the subtle cues, right? We're looking at how... Yeah, because I love what you were saying. Actually, that was the point I was going to make. What you were saying about the egg is like the pinnacle of femininity, because it's there. It's not shrinking itself. It's not saying, oh, look at me, I'm an old egg, or, oh, look at me, look at my flaws. It's just vibrating its frequency. right? That's the essence of life. An egg is just in its vibration. And then here it attracts the sperm. And so the masculinity needs to be strong and powerful in what it does, and the femininity needs to be strong and powerful in what she does for life to be created.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. I love the way you shared that, because it really puts it into perspective, that we do attract when we're in our powers and when we say, I am enough. Because there is so much guilt women feel for saying that. And also they feel insecure because other people make you feel insecure if you say, I love myself. I'm happy today. You know?
Yesterday I met a neighbor and she asked me, how are you? I said, great. And she said, oh, you're always great. In this way, you know, you're always great.
Well, yeah, you know, that's how you're feeling, you know? If you were feeling another way, I'm sure you're so authentic to yourself and authentic to your experience, you would say that, you know? But yeah, some people, they, you know, it's like they haven't built that circuitry, that capacity, those neural pathways yet that are expansive, you know? And I think right before we hit record on this podcast, we were talking about spirit and the universe moving through all of us, you know, whatever you may call it, whatever energy we're all part of. And some people are blocked off to that beautiful energy of just pure love and pure worthiness and pure enoughness. And what you do is you unlock that in people, which is so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So Mara, how else can people like find you? Because I know you wrote a book on this, you know, and I would love for you to share your book. Yes, 2 books. Right. Can you please share the title and the meaning? And
yes, this is the book. You know Astrid Lindgren and Pippi Longstocking.
Yes.
And Pippi Longstocking said, don't let them get you down. Be cheeky, wild, and wonderful. And that's the title of this book. It's, sorry, it's only in German, but who knows? And this is who wants to get old in a good way has to learn to be a magician. And that's what I said before with the word magic, but there are other steps to enfold, to open up your magic and your understanding of magic.
Wow. You can even say and go as far as to say that getting older is getting more magical. Aging is where you unlock more of your magic, and the inner child you can awaken.
Yeah, when you age, you are more open to your wisdom. You can develop your wisdom. And it is not natural. No, natural is the wrong word. It's not consequential that when you have white hair, for example, that you're wise. No. It's a conscious effort to reach a certain wisdom. And in my understanding, the steps are, you make experiences. And lots of people recount their experience over and over again without having any insight at all. The second step is having an insight. Understanding why did I have this experience and what could I learn from it. And then the third step, which is rather developed, is to be thankful for the experience and for the insight.
Wow.
Because then you appreciate the whole of your life in quite a different way. And the next step is to love it, even if the experience was not very nice. For example, many complain about their parents, how they treated them. But you are the person you are because your parents were like this, not in spite of. And when you reach this level of loving what your life was up to now, then you come into the wisdom. And the wisdom doesn't judge anymore. Wisdom only is present. You're present, you say, what? So what? When something happens, or why not? Or it's interesting, instead of judging.
Wow. Mara, that's so beautiful. It's like, you know, I love that you developed a template, a process to get to this point of groundedness and self-love. And it's so important, I think, in these times, and it's important for women and men of all ages. I've been even thinking how useful this is even for men, right? To go through these steps and go through this process, right? And how do people reach you? Like, what do your sessions look like? Can they, you know, do you book sessions? Do you do seminars? Do you do workshops?
I don't do single sessions. I only do 3-month packets of 3 months.
Amazing.
Because that's the only way, in my experience, that there is really happening something. If you book single sessions, people don't feel engaged enough, or very often. And when they book this whole package, then they are more involved. And you can contact me over my website. There's a calendar contact. It's written on the top. Contact with K, not with C, like in English, but it's easy to recognize. And well, if you're prepared to accept my English, then we can go ahead also in English, and we can. The first call is without booking. The first call is just to get to know each other.
Beautiful. And I'm going to link all of this. I'm going to link Mara's books. I'm going to link her website and everything on all streaming platforms. So you'll have access to Mara and her email and her information. And I actually agree with you. I think those containers are so important where you do long-term deep dives, because the work that you're talking about of doing the inner family constellation work, doing the, you know, the inner child work where you're looking at what you picked up with your parents, because a lot of people feel that they are, you know, they have this this anger, this rage with their upbringing. Some folks, they have a sadness, they have a disconnect, a heartbreak, and that requires some deep excavating and care. And so it sounds like a very deep journey that you have people go through, and you help them step by step to reframe their minds.
Yeah, the funny thing is I don't dig. It's my clients don't dig either. It's just a kind of, I can't really describe it. We look at the steps, and I'm their mirror, and it develops in a very beautiful way, and rather quickly also.
So it's organic.
Yeah, organic. Thank you. That's beautiful. The right word.
That's beautiful, because you're just, you know, as things arise, you're holding space and playing and dancing with it. That's beautiful. Mara, you have so much wisdom and embodiment, and just embodiment of such grace and beauty. Like I'm always, you know, when we connect, I just feel so much peace from you, and I love the way you share your magic and your words. I would love for you to share a message with the world, because I know a lot is happening in the world right now. There's great chaos and uncertainty. And I believe, you know, when there's this much chaos, we should also be this much, you know, with our happy aging, with our beauty, with our art, with our expression. So I think the world, you know, needs to hear from very wise, embodied folks like you know, your wisdom, your gift. And so please, if you can share with us what you would like to share for people who feel uncertain during these times.
Well, we said it already. I think it's very important to develop your energy from mental to spiritual, because when you look at the chaos in the world from a spiritual point of view, you see that lots of the chaos that's happening is kind of the last fight of a certain kind of world that we have lived in. And the world is changing a lot, and every change is combined with chaos and uncertainty.
Right.
But you have to find, to survive this in a good way, you have to find the certainty in yourself. And then the chaos does not impact you so much.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I love how you reframe like that, even with the parental example with the family you gave. Like, you wouldn't be you without the chaos and the destruction and the death and the rebirth, right? Those are kind of like sacred manure, like sacred, forgive my French, shit that we can, actually build a new life from, right? So it's a very important process and a very important point that you're making, that, uncertain times make very powerful people if you choose to be, right? And
yeah, if you choose to be.
If you choose to be, yeah. I don't want to stop this conversation. I want to keep it going. And, I really hope to have you on in the future too.
With pleasure, yes.
Yeah, because I feel like we just have so many topics that we can go into and discuss. And so if, you all would like to hear more from Mara, which I know you will, please let us know what you think about this podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, responses, I would love to hear from you. And please do not forget to check out Mara's website. Like I said, even though it's in German, use your translators. That's how I got around, through her book and her website. And obviously you can book a session with her, and I will link all of that information below and on all streaming platforms. And Mara, I again am deeply grateful for you and your heart. And I'm so happy our dear friend Maria Aurora connected us. And
so am I.
I'm like looking forward to more podcasts with you and collaborations. And before we head out, anything you'd like to say?
Thank you very much. That's all I can say. It was very inspiring also for me.
Yeah, truly inspirational. And with that, I wish you guys a beautiful, beautiful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And, many blessings. Keep spreading love and do the work. Like Mara said, she dropped some nuggets of wisdom in there for you about just simple, practical things you can do to elevate your life, to bring yourself back into your body, and to question those mental structures that have been conditioned and given to us. So a lot of deep nuggets in this podcast. Journal it out, write some questions down below if you have any, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mara.